Okay, is this Fluval's nano tank solution? Let's have a look at it. Fluval Mini. It's a 4.5 watt, up to 45 litre. I'm going to use it in a 60 litre because most of the water isn't in there. E.g., I've got more substrate, blah, 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 blah. And I haven't got much stocking in there. So if you had a very low stock, you could use this. Now, I've got a love-hate relationship with Fluval. I think they make some good stuff. The U series is a fantastic filter. Although, for some reason, the impeller gets stuck quite a lot. So here's the box, size of my hand, tiny little thing. This will be very cheap to run. Ideally, I would use this in sort of like a better tank or shrimp tank, something like that. Okay, so water comes in through these little pouchy bits here. By the look of it, it's damaged. I'll have a look at that. Oh no, that's how the pattern is. Some huge suckers. These are big suckers for such a little filter. They go on there. Let's have a look. So it comes apart relatively easy. There you go, and there's your bit of sponge. Now, I'm going to compare this later on to another one of my favourites, which is the pickup, the E-Heim pickup, and see, because that's going to have a look at that. Okay, so the water comes in, sloshes around that, goes up through that little hole, spits back to the tank. Okay, so it is literally a sponge filter. Okay, it's a powered sponge filter. Well, that doesn't matter. The aim of today is to find out if it's worth having, if it's actually worth that. Fluval just lately have been overpricing their stuff. I mean, I bought a light which was, in my opinion, 30% dearer than its competitors, but we're still testing that. So easy to take apart. There's your impeller, and that's it. So what else do you get in the box? Absolutely nothing. Usual Fluval. Now, you can't move this. This doesn't move. There's no kind of spout movement at all. You can't adjust the flow rate on it. It is basic, and I mean very basic. Just let me take that off quickly. Let me put that in there. But that shouldn't stop us using this in a good way. There's some details. Oh, sorry, it's a 5 watt. It's a 5 watt, as you can see there. So if you're going to have a powered sponge filter, this is what you've got to be looking at. 5 watts. I think that's a good sort of starting point. Okay, I think, let's have a look at the cable. Yeah, about a metre long. These are all standard. That's a hell of a lot of suction there. Look at that. You're not going to have any problems with that sticking on your tank, are you? Yeah, nothing to move about there. All right, let's get it wet. Let's see what happens. Okay, so that's what it looks like in a flex. I mean, I'd put it probably at the back somewhere, but as you can see, it's not too bad. Very small footprint. And I'd probably put it in that corner so you wouldn't even see it. So I reckon we should see what it performs like. The only thing I have, problems with is the fact that I can't direct the flow, and in a small tank you probably want that more than anything else. But hey ho, let's have a look and see how it performs. Okay, there it is. Kind of small. I think we should turn it on straight away. So 3, 2, 1. Okay, so the initial thoughts on this is the noise. There is definitely a whine from the thing. Let me put this down in there. Let's get rid of any air. And of course you can have it this orientation, which I probably would have in a smaller tank. It's got a nicer bit of flow. But it has got a whine to it. Let me take it apart and let's see if there's a reason we are getting this horrible whining noise from it. This kind of moves a lot as well. You could probably put something under there because those pads are quite good, so you could actually get this to move without actually getting it to move, if that makes sense, by putting something here. Anyway, let me have a quick look at the impeller. Okay, so let's take this apart. Let's have a quick look. There's no movement on it. Absolutely no movement, which is kind of normal. Let's see if it moves. So that noise you can hear is it actually going up and down. So I think that might be. There's no movement there. Okay, so that's going to spin against this. Yeah, you see that? So I think it's just going to bed itself in nicely. There's no ridges. No ridges in there at all, is there? So I don't think it's that. I think the whine is going to start slow down as it gets gunged up a bit. I don't think that's going to be a problem. And it's being brand new, you do tend to get a little bit of a movement in there. So I reckon we should leave it running for a while in the tank, or the sink I should say, and see how it sounds in, say, 30 minutes. All right, obviously I'm going to time lapse that so you don't have to watch it. Okay, so it's been 38 minutes. Hasn't really quietened down, but obviously it needs to get gunged, and this water's straight out of the tap, so even though there's a little hum, it's not too bad. It's not one of those ow 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 noises that you get from some sort of cheaper Chinese stuff. But this, you know, I think there's better options for you out there, especially for this price. I mean, this price you can get, you know, I might even do one on the Sickie as well as the Eheim. The Eheim's coming in a week, so that's going to be about it kind of all is. So I think we should do the pros and cons on what I believe this would be best suited for as well. Okay, so pros and cons. I'm just going to waffle. Okay, I'm just going to waffle about what's pros and cons about this, because that is not a bad lump of sponge. I mean, that's going to take a while. However, it has these ridges in. So even though the water's coming in through the bottom and getting sucked through that, because obviously this is going to push on that, like so, the water's going to go in there. There's going to be bypass because of the ridges. So I'd keep an eye on that. That's the first thing. Suckers are good, but they kept coming off quite easy, which was a bit of a pain. Especially if you've got a small tank. You know, if you've got a better in there, you're going to skit it out. It's not going to be happy. There is a little bit of noise from this. It's not too bad. It's not a noise that I would say I couldn't put up with. You know, there's a lot of filters out there, a lot of filters, in my opinion, that make so much noise that it gets to the stage where you can't bear it. It's like a screeching or a screaming. This is a very low, you know, refrigerator type hum, which you get used to. Servicing, very simple. I mean, you could probably take the whole lot out. You know, you can get to everything very easy. It's not, I mean, it's not bad. You know, it's not bad. Okay, so the only things that I don't like about it, especially at this price point, this should move. You know, it wouldn't take me too long just to put one of those little things that go on there. There's nothing else in the box, literally nothing else, that you could just move it around, maybe deflect it to a back wall if you've got a better or something like that. So flow, I'm not really worried about reducing the flow on these. This is going to slow right down because it's a sponge. So once that sponge gets gunged up, you know, servicing, I probably would try and leave this as long as possible. You know, if you've got a very small or low stock tank, you know, maybe a guppy tank with 4 in there or 5 in there. Saltwater, you can use this on saltwater, I believe. Yeah. Doesn't say freshwater. Okay. Have to check that out yourself, guys. But anyway, getting back to this. If you had this in a shrimp tank, would I say it's shrimp safe? Not really. These little bits here, I mean, you can see the filter quite good, so I wouldn't say it was shrimp safe, but it wouldn't be too hard to do what I usually used to do. A pair of stockings or tights round here, job done. So all in all, not a bad offering. Okay, it's not a bad offering from Fluval. We will be doing the Eheim I think it's a pickup 60 that I'm getting, because I want to have a look at that. That's sort of comparable. It's got the same sort of wattage and blah blah blah. And I might see if I can get the small sicky one with the magnets on the back to see how that is as well. Okay guys, listen, thanks for taking part in this video. All your comments are really welcomed. A lot of ideas have come from you guys on where I should go with this channel. I do a lot of other stuff outside of YouTube, so if you've got anything else going on, let me know. There's the comment section, or even email me. I'm always about. But yeah, take care. Have a great day.